What is going on, guys? Christian from the Lay and Pray MMA podcast, joined as always by Trenton and Jeffrey. We got Jeffrey this episode. What's up, boys?
Hello.
What up, dude?
If you're listening to us on YouTube, watching us, thank you so much. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment on the videos, hit that notification bell so that way you can be notified whenever we go live with the new video. If you're listening to us on podcast platforms, whether it's Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Apple, whatever what is their Apple Podcast? Is that what it is? Apple Podcast. I'm pretty sure we're on there as well. So check us out. Make sure download and listen to the show. This is episode number 11, and the big thing for this episode, we're just going to be talking about the upcoming fight night card tomorrow, headlined by Corey Sandhagen and the return of TJ Dillashaw. Just kicking things off. Last episode, Trenton and I had talked about Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaichi, and Michael Chandler had essentially said that he's, they've tried to get that fight going twice now, and Justin Gaichi has essentially turned it down or declined the fight. And Justin Gaichi, in response, let's see, what did I don't. He was not happy. Yeah. He said something on Twitter, but I want to basically saying he's talking out of his ass. Okay, at Mike Chandler is talking out of his ass. I was waiting for the bout agreement 3 weeks into camp and wake up to news his daddy Dana gave him the shot. He's been out of commission since the KO. What am I missing? I'm on vacay and this fucker is slandering my name 3 to 4 times? Question mark. So I think this is exactly what I want. Yeah. This is perfect. Yes. This is the perfect setup. When the way you look at the lightweight division, I saw a picture, basically like things that would be great to see. So one of the fights was obviously we've got Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. That's for sure happening. Mm-hmm. Rafael dos Anjos versus Islam Makhachev, possibly. That's rumored. Obviously, I sent that to you guys. Another one was Justin Gaichi versus Mike Chandler. And then the last one, Beneil Dariush versus Dan Hooker. Just in terms of the top 8 or 9. The only 2 outside of that, Connor dropped to 9, and then Conor Gillespie's number 10. So, and
was it Gregor Gillespie?
Or Gregor Gillespie, yeah, not Conor Gillespie. Sorry. Yeah, Gregor Gillespie. So yeah, I really hope this fight, because the shit talk would be a lot of fun, and it's you got the two of the hardest hitters in the lightweight division. So,
I mean, they're 2 of the most exciting fighters in that division, straight up. And if they have to guilt each other into this fight, I don't even give a shit. Just let it happen. You know what I mean?
I think Chandler pulled a quick one on everybody, dude.
Yeah.
He was like, "Let me just fucking tweet this out," and then
he was doing an Instagram live. He's doing an Instagram live, and they're said something about Justin Gaichi, and he's like, we've already tried to set that fight up twice. And he's declined both times.
Probably a calculated risk.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, honestly, I don't
risk.
think either one of them want that fight, but the fans sure do. You gotta make that fight. If we get robbed of that fight and it never happens, that is a fucking crime against humanity.
That's like Khabib and Tony.
Yeah.
To me, it's worse. Really is, dude. That fucking fight though was. I wanted that fight for so long, dude.
Years and years and years,
so
dude.
Long.
Fuck.
Yeah. The problem with that one was too that it was set up 4 times and it fell through 4 times. You know what
Dana was like, I'm never making this fight again. And then a year later, Dana's making the fight again. He's like, let's see what happens.
Wasn't it all something bullshit? Like Tony was walking from a fight wearing sunglasses and didn't see a cord.
No, Tony was doing interviews and then tripped over a cord and tore his ACL. Then one time, Khabib had to pull out because he had too hard of a weight cut, but the night before that, he was eating fucking tiramisu, which is why Tony kept calling him tiramisu. And then there was all kinds of shit that just like fell through, and it's like, how many fucking times? And I hope
Tony I thought Tony hurt himself in one of those
he did, like it was like a promotional
one
video
of those
or whatever.
films, yeah, where they go out
he was wearing sunglasses and he didn't see the cord and he fucking tripped over it and tore his shit up.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and then Dana was like, "Why the fuck are you wearing sunglasses inside?" So then Tony kept wearing sunglasses even after, just to like a fight fuck you to Dana.
That's exactly how it went.
Yeah. Just the lightweight division is so fun right now because it's just stacked. Yeah, dude. There's a lot of divisions that are like that right now. I mean, 135 is stacked, 145 is stacked, 155, like 170. The whole, like, this is probably one of the best times to be a fan, whether you're a casual or a diehard, because each division is just so deep, except for the women's featherweight. That's about it.
Except for light heavyweight, like
light heavyweight's the worst. Light heavyweiight's the worst it's been in a long time.
Until Homeboy becomes champ, and then he's exciting.
Glover?
No, not Glover. The dude that spinning
Mohawk
back elbowed.
Yuri Prohashka.
Yeah, the dude with the Goro haircut.
Dude.
Like I'm all about that dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm all about him. Yeah. But like I agree that those divisions are exciting, and like some of the most exciting that they've been in a long time. The only thing that like there's a little asterisk next to them, and it upsets me just a little bit. Maybe I'm in the minority, but like Khabib, man, like he's out on his prime, like I still miss him. I would like to see these guys fight him. And with him being gone, that like it leaves a little sour taste in my mouth. And then also with like Henry Cejudo, you know what I mean? Like he stepped out on top too. And it's like, I want to see these guys versus the dudes that are running the shit now. Like, why did we have to miss those? I'm happy for them that they're retired and healthy, but like it still like leaves a sour taste.
I just don't want them to come back past their prime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I don't want them to wait 3 years and then like, you know what? I want more. It's like, bro, like this is now. It's not the time to do that anymore. You should have done that after 6 months.
Not everybody's George St. Pierre. You know,
this is what I was just about to say that. But the thing is, the reason why I don't think it was as bad for GSP coming back is he came back a weight bracket ahead of his normal. So he came back at 185, and he fought a guy who was older than he was in Michael Bisping. If Robert Whittaker would have been the champ, GSP would not have won that fight because Michael Bisping was piecing up GSP at one point in that fight, and GSP was
had previously trained together, and GSP knew he could beat him.
Yeah.
So there's that, But also, what helped?
Are you intoxicated? Are you intoxicated?
What also helped GSP was that GSP came back to a post USADA UFC as well.
Yeah.
So when he was on top, there was no drug testing or like very little drug testing. People could get away with it. And when he came back, drug testing was, already taken
USADA
care of
was
and all this
big
shit.
time.
USADA was big time. So he knew what he was coming back to as well. Like
that was one of his reasons for leaving in the first place, right?
Bill, he said one reason was he was suspicious of PED use. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, look at Johnny Hendricks. He wasn't the same post USADA. He wasn't the same. He missed weight multiple times, and he went up to 185, and Paulo Costa kicked his shit in.
And he was the best wrestler in the UFC and never used it.
Yeah.
That's my fucking heart, dude.
I mean, it's all speculation, but he didn't look that great after.
No.
But for a minute there, he was king.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was, dude, with that left.
I mean, sticking with 155, I mean, Jeffrey, you kind of gave a look there when I brought up the RDA versus Islam fight. Obviously, in RDA's tweet, the first part of that tweet is believable that they're trying to set up something for him versus Islam in October in Abu Dhabi, maybe, I think. But the second part of that, where he said, and Khabib's going to come out of retirement to, avenge his little brother. And it's like, I don't believe that, not even for a second.
First of all, why would they have that conversation? That would never happen.
No.
Because Khabib doesn't think he's going to lose that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
the thing is, Khabib said that would be one of the reasons why he does come out of retirement, though.
Is someone? Yeah, but that's if he was the champ and someone beat him and took his belt.
Yeah, but
get it back. But
for fuck's sakes, Islam, I hope you win the title so that way we can see Khabib again. Because
also, I'm a little I just like it slipped my mind. RDA is in the top like 5, right? Top 3
he's like
or something.
3rd or 4th, yeah.
Okay.
No, Benil's 3rd.
Yeah, Benil's 3rd. So he might be like
Dustin Gaethje's 2.
So he might be like top.
He's 4th. No, he's 4th, I think.
Okay. Who did he beat when he came back to 155 to earn that spot? I don't remember.
Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee.
He beat Paul Felder.
Okay, Paul Felder. Okay.
Not Barnstormers, dude.
Yeah.
Paul Felder was in the top 10. That's the reason why
No, I'm just saying Paul Felder's he's great, but he's not.
I wish he wouldn't have retired, but I'm also glad he retired because he did it on his own. So
yeah, Andy's got a business outside of that or the commentary, He's fine. So like he's set. I hate when fighters retire and they don't have anything lined up and then they got.
What are you gonna do? And it's like I'm just gonna hang out and live off the money that I've made, and it's like, dude, you haven't made any. Like you haven't made any money.
So yeah, I mean nothing against RDA or nothing, but like
he already had his run, dude. He already had his run.
We'll see,
and it didn't last long at all.
He's as good as he was at 155, but he left for a reason. He ran from Khabib. That's what happened. He knew he wasn't going to beat him. He got ragdolled by.
He got ragdolled the first time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He got ragdolled by him. Sorry, and then he was champ. Or, Khabib became champ, and then he was like, "Yeah, I guess I'm going up to 170." You know what I mean? Like,
but the thing is he was one of the guys that went up to 170, and he didn't look. He almost looked worse at 170 than he did.
He was undersized, man. He was.
I know, but I mean, like when he fought Colby Covington, I was like that was the fight where I was like, RDA's. That was when I was thinking, like, okay,
in that fight,
yeah.
He just looks big for 155 because he's got a big old fucking dome piece.
Yeah, his head is fucking massive. That mustache goes
fucking huge, dude.
That mustache, it would be like, a foot long on me.
It's fucking huge. So when you see him at 155, you're like, God damn, dude, he's
fucking
huge. He's just not really. But when you see it 170, you're like, all right, he just got a small body now.
That's when them middle weight classes come in, like a fucking 165 or a 160 or something like that. You know what I mean?
I want that to happen, but I don't want that to happen too. I don't want it to turn into boxing.
I don't either, but I think there's.
What would you call it? Light middleweight or light welterweight?
Cruiserweight.
Cruiserweight's like 205, dude. If we're talking WWE.
Look, man.
Cruiserweight's like 205,
the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. Dude. Listen here, brother. I'm the king of the hardcore championship. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The way that all this stuff's going to unravel over the next couple months, we'll see how things go. I don't think they've even announced the Glover Teixeira versus Jan Blachowicz. I don't know if that's even been announced yet, but at the same time, that fight doesn't really excite me.
No.
Get Yuri up in there and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
I hope Yuri's sitting out for the winner of that, not like gonna fight somebody else.
The thing is he's crazy. The thing is he's crazy enough that he'll probably be an alternate. He'll probably be an alternate. And oh shit, I unplugged my mic. He'll probably be an alternate, and then probably won't get the fight because Jan and Glover will fight, and then he'll end up fighting somebody else just because he seems crazy enough to do it because he just seems game. Dude, he's a stud. He's young too. He's only like 27 or 26, I think.
That's why I'm saying I'm not mad at him. Like if he does wait for the title shot, because he had a tough fight with Dominic Reyes last. He was rocked as shit in that fight. So
but if he's piecing up Dom.
Yeah, but I mean, like if he sits, like he got rocked before he KO'd Dom. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just saying, the longer you wait, the more recovery you got for your head, and then like maybe it'll perform a little better.
He wasn't rocked. He was trying to balance his thing, his Goro hair on top of his head. He was trying to balance his dreads.
Do you think he has the weight behind his name to sit out for a fight though?
No,
right now,
not yet.
For the championship
because
fight, right?
you look at him. He's only won 2 fights in the UFC.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's his call, dude.
Yeah, but he's the biggest prospect in the UFC right now at 205. Who else is even in the top?
Doesn't matter. UFC don't give a shit about that, dude.
Yeah,
I think they do.
UFC
I think they
doesn't
do for
give
him.
a shit, dude. They never do for anybody.
Yeah, not even John Jones. They don't give a fuck. Dana says if you want to fight, fight. If you don't want to fight, don't. That's his.
Fuck, dude.
So if Yuri sits out,
they fed to the wolves. Shit.
I think the UFC wants him to sit out for the title fight. I think they think that like one of these guys is going to go to sleep early in this title fight, and then he fights the winner with a quickness. That's what I think they want. But I can't imagine this fight being a fucking 5-round war with Glover.
It's not going to be a war. It's probably going to be a 5-round snoozer.
I think it'll be.
It's going to be like Jan versus
fucking KO fest.
It's going to be like Jan versus Israel.
Disgusting.
No way. I don't think so. I think they both have too much power to be standing there like that.
Glover's age might catch up to him, but
I think Jan's going to win this fight anyways. But
I do too. But Jan's not much younger.
Yeah.
Jan won his title when he was like 37.
Yeah, but he's still younger in the game. Like he's still fresh in the game. Glover's been around the block,
Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess in terms of talking about just divisions and how stacked most of these divisions are, specifically with the fight card that we have tomorrow, which is TJ Dillashaw versus Corey Sandhagen. You look at 135, that's another one that's just murderer's row of guys that are absolute studs, and we look at guys who weren't even really relevant. Like they were they were names, but they weren't very relevant when TJ was the champ.
Yeah.
Guys that were still around then 2 years ago. TJ fought Cody twice. He fought Dom. He fought Renan Barao was still around.
That division definitely wasn't what it is now.
No.
Sure.
Aljamain was there, but he wasn't who he is now. Obviously he's the champ now, but
he's been asking for title shots and shit for a long time though, but he's not the I think he's better now, but
he's not a big enough name. Like he's not a big enough draw.
Well,
because
the thing
his
that
style
hurt him is that fight and how he got the championship.
Yeah, especially
how he got the fucking title. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
He knows it. Everybody knows it. He's not the real fucking champ. Like
Peter Yan wasn't even in the UFC. I'm pretty sure
that rematch should have fucking happened already, and we should
he had
know
to
who
get
the
surgery.
champ is.
He had to get surgery.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
And it was a neck surgery. I'm pretty sure. So it's pretty extensive.
All of a sudden, like you get gifted your fucking title, and all of a sudden, like why did you get surgery before that fight? Because you needed it before that. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just bullshit.
Yeah. Well, Peter Yan's going to put it on him, and then the winner of tomorrow's fight will fight Yan. That's what I think. Or
I'm
Peter
almost
Yan.
shocked that this one isn't for an interim.
Well,
me too, dude.
Yeah.
Me too.
Except for you. Imagine the backlash UFC would have gotten if you're getting a guy that was doing EPO, an interim title shot on his first fight back.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, like guys like Rob Font, Peter Yan, Sean O'Malley. Rafael Sunsao was there. John Lineker, I think, was still in the UFC before he got, up and left and went to one. There's a lot of guys that aren't there are here now in the top 10 that weren't even in the UFC 2 years ago. So,
and styles do make fights. So, some of these guys get their chance at someone like the champ or something like that. Things could change around. Like, let's say TJ does win and gets his title back. He's going to be fighting a whole new list of dudes because half those guys were like nobodies when he was the champ. So,
yeah. Well, so UFC posted a thing earlier, probably just a couple hours ago before we hopped on the pod, and it was basically TJ going down the list of bantamweights, like in there, like Aljamain Sterling, he's like fake champion. Not even, he's like the way he won it is ridiculous. That Peter Yan, he was like, that's the guy that I think I'm going to be fighting for the title next. Rob Font, he was like, yeah, great guy. I think that'd be a fun fight. Cody, he was like, been there, done that twice. Then they're like Sean O'Malley, and he just started, he like laughed, and he was like, easy work, easy money, essentially. And I was like, yeah, I think so. I honestly
heard a stat today.
I mean, if he looks back, like if he looks as good as he did, I think it would be easier.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I heard a stat today that I knew already, but kind of I was like, fuck, is that true? Was in the last 4 years, Cody Garbrandt is 1-4.
Yeah.
And I was like, I
He
know
beat
that's true.
he beat Rafael
God
Assunção.
damn, it doesn't feel like that, you know?
Yeah, Rafael Assunção KO, and then what, 2 losses?
Pedro Munoz, he got knocked out by Pedro Munoz after TJ, and then he beat Rafael Assunção because he had like a slew of injuries and COVID and some other and then he came back and fought against Rob Font and got pieced up, like just jabbed to oblivion in that fight.
Yeah,
but Rob Font's good.
He's like 4th or 5th or some shit. Is he?
He might have slid a little bit, but I don't know. I can't remember. Now he's talking about going to 125.
Yeah, I don't know if he could. I mean, he says he can make it, but that seems like
he's not ripped. That's the thing. He's not like TJ.
Yeah. Well, TJ's like as lean as you could possibly get almost.
Bro,
like,
those little tiny hands at 125 would fucking kill somebody, dude. He hits hard as fuck, man.
It's true.
Thing is he has to hit you. He could not hit Rob Font in that fight. That was the reason why he lost. His footwork looked pretty good. He just couldn't not get hit.
Yeah. I was surviving.
Anyways, sorry I took us off track, but
no.
I was like, God damn, that's hard to hear, you know?
You know, considering his performance against Dom was probably one of the most dominant performances for a challenger against the champion. So, all right, boys. Well, should we get into the preview and predictions for this card?
Let's dive into it, man.
All right. For this one, we're going to do all prelims and main card. So prelims, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 total fights because there was 12, but the co-main got dropped, and now there's a new co-main, which is unfortunate. First fight, women's strawweight division, Diana Balbita versus Hannah Goldie. I don't know either of these gals, so I'm not really going to do like some in-depth analysis here. Both are coming off of a loss.
Yeah, I think they've lost all there's 3 fights between the 2 of them in the UFC, I think, and they've lost all 3.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's basically you're fighting for your contract at this point.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I've seen from these chicks is Balbita is way more well-rounded. She's way better at keeping distance, and she's a better fucking takedown artist.
And she has more experience, and she's younger.
And she has more experience.
I'm gonna go Balbita here on this one.
And it's a full Balbita send for me, 100%.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Balbita as well. At first I was looking at Hannah Goldie, and I was like, if you're judging off of physique alone, like, Goldie might have like the physique win over here, but like, I think I'm gonna go with Balbita as well. She has 2 fights in the UFC, I believe, and Goldie only has 1. So
Balbita is a volume striker, and she's gonna strike the shit out of Goldie, who doesn't do well at distance or in close. Like she's got to get really in close. And that's going to be really hard to do when Balbita has a more dominant ground game. So
yeah, the only thing that also that kind of made me lean towards Balbita was that she actually has KOs, like on a like she's KO'd people before, which gives me a little hope. So I'm gonna go with that one, because I don't think Goldie has any KOs on her record.
Okay. The next fight in the flyweight division, Sarah Eubanks versus Elise Reed. Eubanks, she's very hit or miss because if you watch her on the Ultimate Fighter, like she has the good striking. I mean, she landed a head kick knockout. She's like basically she's a boxer or a kickboxer, but I just think she's too inconsistent. I think she's on a 2-fight skid right now, and I think that's going to continue. So I'm going to go with Elise Reed in this fight, and Elise Reed's 4-0, and Eubanks is 7-6. So even though Eubanks has more experience, and I've actually seen her fight, I'm going to go with Elise Reed in this one.
Trenton?
Okay, I'm gonna go with Eubanks. I think that she's very inconsistent, but she's ranked. She wants to keep on to that ranking. And I think that she's fought, a decent competition, and I think experience is going to get her the decision here.
But you do realize that Eubanks is normally a bantamweight that cut to 125. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't really realize that, but I think she'll win.
Okay. Well,
fight.
Well, the only reason why I say that is because if you're a 135er and you're cutting that extra 10 pounds, usually your performance is
trash.
Yeah. So, sorry.
I mean, I get it. No,
yeah.
I understand it. I mean, I don't know much about these fighters to begin with, so I'm just kind of spitballing here on these picks anyways. But I just have this feeling in my gut that Eubanks is going to be able to pull off a decision.
I have this feeling in my plums. Deep down in my plums.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Eubanks as well. I think Eubanks has tons more experience at a much higher level. Elsie Reed is the champ of I don't even remember which organization, but a very respectable organization for like a women's division. So she does have experience, but not nearly the level that Eubanks does. And all it takes is for Eubanks to be just a little bit on. And I think that is going to put her over Reed. I said I wasn't going to base, any of my picks based on experience anymore.
Yeah.
But I have to with this one. I just think that I just think that Elise Reed, she's jumping up a level and she's really going to see somebody that has a lot of pro fights,
Okay. So next on the prelims is Julio Arce versus Andre Ewell. Andre has fought more guys that are, top caliber, even though it's been a couple of years. And both guys are coming off of losses. One of the biggest things in this fight that I'm looking at is normally Julio fights at 145 and he's cutting down to 135. And then Andre has a 75-inch reach, which is a 5-inch reach advantage. And I think that will be a significant difference in this fight. I think Ewell is probably going to be doing a lot more outside shots, not standing in the pocket and trading, but more of a kickboxing style. So I'm going to go with Ewell on this one. And it's at bantamweight, so that's his natural weight class. So I feel like he's going to perform appropriately in that weight class in this fight.
Okay, I got Arce, Julio in this one. I think maybe him going down, maybe he'll bring some of that power with him. And I think that this fight shouldn't be very boring. I think it's going to be a slugfest if it doesn't go to the ground for a submission. But I just think Julio's gonna get the win on this one.
Yeah.
I think the same thing. I think I would go with Arce. I think that it should be a slugfest as well. And I just think he's more well-rounded. I think he should be the bigger guy. And I've seen him look really good, So I hope that if he lives to his potential, then I think he takes it as well.
That reach does scare me though.
Yeah.
The height and
scary.
reach,
Yeah.
it's a little sketch, but
Yeah, 5 inches is pretty significant. That motherfucker's got a longer reach than I do, and I'm 6'2", and he's 5'7". It's like Jesus Christ, he's like a fucking spider. Next up, honestly, this fight and then the one that's the headline of the prelims was the two biggest reasons why I really wanted to go over the preliminary card. This fight is at welterweight, Mickey Gall versus Jordan Williams. Obviously, Mickey Gall had a huge uprise. Like, he would basically had a fucking rocket ship blasted up his ass because he was on Dana White looking for a fight and called out CM Punk, had his, intro fight, won, fought CM Punk, won, fought Sage Northcutt, won, and then I don't know what happened, honestly. I don't know what happened with, I don't know if he just
Then he got hit.
got overconfident.
Yeah.
Like, he was just way too, he got hit. He got caught.
Yeah.
But, I mean, losing to Mike Perry and losing to Diego Sanchez, who is way out of his prime and not the fighter that, and not just losing, but getting KO'd or TKO'd. It's like, come on, man. Like, you're supposed to be this top, one of these top prospects, and you're losing to Diego Sanchez. And I know Diego, he's a legend, but at that point you should be trying to put old Yeller down at that point. So so that's one of the things that scares me in this fight. Honestly, I got to go with Mickey Gall. I don't know enough about Jordan Williams. I've seen every single one of Mickey Gall's fights. The only thing I know is that he's lost a fight because I'm looking at it right here on my phone. That's the only thing that I know about Jordan Williams, is that his last fight in October, he lost. And that's about it. So, I mean, it seems like he's got good takedown defense because the guy that he fought only was 1 for 8 on takedowns. But yeah, I got to go with Mickey Gall here.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Jordan Williams on this one.
You motherfucker.
I think Mickey
Are
Gall.
you guys just literally we agree on one fight? That's only going to be one fight, and you and Trenton.
This is not planned.
You're riding Trenton's hot tail that he's on after the last pay-per-view.
Well,
No.
I usually pick before him, so
I know.
For the things that you just said, I think Mickey Gall, I mean, no disrespect to him, I think he was a little overrated for
You're fucking disrespectful. How dare you?
for his accomplishments. But CM Punk, in my opinion, wasn't that big of a fucking accomplishment the first.
No, but Sage Northcutt was just as much of a rising prospect as Mickey Gall was.
But I think that's him fighting a very young Sage Northcutt, and I think that fight would look different today. Even
Sage
though
Northcutt fought some old guy and won and got his orbital smashed in.
That dude's legit though.
Yeah,
like, his
I know.
is legit.
I know. He's a kickboxer.
But like, for the reasons you said alone, I think Mickey Gall's best chances in this fight are his grappling and submissions. And I think that you said Jordan Williams was good takedown defense. I think that he should be able to stop those takedowns, and he should be able to win this fight. And I think he's the bigger guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with that alone. Mickey Gall seems to have problems with guys that are stronger than he is.
Well, Mickey Gall hasn't fought in over a year, so maybe he's revamped himself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay. I am gonna go against Gall as well. I got Williams via decision. First of all, I don't trust Mickey Gall past the first round ever. His conditioning is an issue. It has been since he's been in the UFC, and until I see him take care of it, I don't think about it. His grappling is good, but until you fix that, then you're kind of up shit creek, dude. If you're planning on winning in round 1 only, then you're not going to get very far. I think that Williams, I think his ground game is good. I think his striking is superior. And I think that Gall has the potential to finish him if he sucks it in to like a jiu-jitsu match into the ground or something like that. But if he cannot do that, then Williams is going to piece him up. And I think that's what happens. I think he wins decision, but I think it's pretty dominant. And I don't think Gall, he doesn't look good this fight.
Okay. Middleweight, Nasruddin Imavov versus Ian Heinisch. Imavov is who Jordan Williams fought. So they're fighting on the same card, and that was Jordan Williams' only fight in the UFC. It appears. And Ian Heinisch, who is coming off of loss to Kelvin Gastelum. I think in this fight, though, I have to go with Heinisch because he has fought better, like more higher caliber fighters. Even though he lost to Amari Akhmedov, who lost to Brad Tavares. The level of competition that he's fought is, it's way different. So I feel like Ian's going to pull through in this fight. He's going to have a better performance than the one that he had against Kelvin. And I think he should get this win.
I agree with you. I think Heinisch should win this one. Mostly because of, like what you said, the higher caliber fighters, and fresh off of the loss to Kelvin Gastelum, I believe, which was a unanimous decision.
Yeah, it's pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Kelvin had 6 takedowns. Kelvin got outstruck by Heinisch, but in terms of on the ground,
just fucking rare,
Kelvin just did.
You outstrike Kelvin. But
yeah.
It
wasn't significant. It was less than 10 strikes. But
yeah, what scares me about this fight is that from when I looked at his record earlier, he seems to lose to even like the gatekeepers of the division, like the higher gatekeepers, you know what I mean? But
such as who?
Well, I think at the time they fought like Brunson.
He fought Derrick, but Derrick's
yeah, but I don't think that when they fought, I don't think he was there,
Yeah, but the thing is no matter what, Derrick's still
he beat Carlos
one of the
Jr.,
top,
which is good.
Honestly, the way that I look at it, Derrick Brunson is just he's revamped himself. At the time he might have been inconsistent, but also he was in shitty matchups.
That's true.
He kept fighting strikers. He's not a striker. But I mean, he changed things up and he beat the shit out of Edmund Shabazian, and Edmund's a pretty good striker. So, but either way, that's neither here nor there.
He reminds me of like an Oven St. Preux, like a inconsistent kind of one performance he looks fucking really good, and the next one it's like, oh, what happened?
Yeah,
kind of thing. But I don't know. Either way, I think Heinisch should win this one for competition alone. I think that he has fought the better fighters. And I think him coming off the loss against Kelvin Gastelum's really going to, I mean, if you come out of that not knocked out or anything like that, you can only get better. You know what I mean? Those are the fights that you improve from, and you see your mistakes, and you see how good people can be, Gastelum's a title contender, champion caliber fighter in my eyes. So if you fight that and you survive it, you should be getting better.
Yeah.
Yep. No need to add on to what you said. I totally agree. Yeah.
All three on that one. Yeah.
And then the headliner, Brendan Allen versus Punahele Soriano. In this fight, I know it's for some people that it might be a weird pick. I'm going to go with Brendan Allen here because Brendan Allen, in terms of the amount of octagon time that he has, it's significantly more, even though he's the younger fighter. And it seems like Soriano, he's got 2 first-round knockouts, and that's great if you're a heavyweight. That's great if you're a heavyweight and, everybody's got power and you put people out in the first round like Francis does. But the thing is what are you going to do when Brendan Allen's a very technical grappler? So what are you going to do when it gets into the, second and third round and you have no gas tank and you're not going to be able to put him out? It's almost like he I don't know if he's too reliant on a first round knockout because we just haven't seen enough of him to really show his cardio is a problem. But I feel like Brendan Allen will be able to drag it out. I feel like he can survive into the second and third round to make it, a knockdown, drag out fight where he can have the advantage in the fight. So I got to go with Brendan Allen in this one.
Okay, I'm going to go with Punalihi. He's undefeated. He has, the two fairly quick fucking knockouts, but I think he's just an exciting prospect that I want to see do well. And kind of going with my heart here on this one instead of my mind, because if I was the smart man, I think I would go with the guy with a little bit more experience. And then I'm not questioning Allen's cardio or anything like that in this fight, and I do question Punalihi if he goes deeper into the rounds. But I think that he's still riding the hype right now, and I think that he might get another KO, and then we'll start to see where his holes are.
I don't know. That's definitely not planned. But dude, look, Soriano's a fucking animal, dude. That kid is on a fucking path right now to stardom. Dude, he's a fucking animal, dude. And look, I know Brendan Allen is very well rounded, but so is Soriano, dude. He's really fucking good in all facets. And I think Soriano knocks him out second round, because Soriano is he's fucking legit, and I think he shows it here. I think this is one of those fights where you look back and you're like, oh yeah, that fucking.
So this is his coming out fight.
Yeah, a coming out fight.
This is a stepping out fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the headliner for the prelims.
This is where things get exciting and people start picking opposite routes, guys.
Yeah. Well, somebody's gonna have to agree with somebody on something.
I'm gonna go grab another drink and I'll be right back, fellas.
Yeah. Kicking off the bantamweight, or the bantamweights are kicking off the main card. So Adrian Yanez versus Randy Costa. Randy had a spectacular debut against Journey Newsome, less than a minute knockout, and that's fantastic. But I also think Adrian has more time in the octagon. He has more time in the UFC, and I feel like getting a less than a minute knockout, you don't really learn anything about yourself. Whereas Adrian, he was in a round 3, he KO TKO in round 3, and then the other fight before that he had another KO TKO, but it was in the first round. So he has a little bit more time in there. Both guys very similar size, except for the reach. The reach is 3-inch in favor of Costa, but I still got to go with Adrian Yanez in this fight. I'm going to go with him. Brenton or Jeffrey, either or.
I'll go. Yeah. Sorry. On this one, I think I'm going to go with Costa. See, I thought this is where we would change our routes. I haven't really watched Adrian Yanez fight, and I know you guys said that he's a beast and he's looked really good, but I think the height advantage and everything that Costa's got, I think it's going to help him. And the dude looks like Harry Potter, so I got to go with that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going with Yanez. I think he's a fucking savage, and I think his stand-up is highly underrated. And I think that people are sleeping on him because he's not some big, yoked, flashy dude. I think he's pretty fucking solid, and I think he gets it done. Probably decision, but I think he wins fight.
Okay. Next up, this is a fight that I'm actually really excited for. Both girls are very both up and comers. Macy Barber, Randa Maverick. Randa's 11-2. Macy Barber's 8-2. Obviously, Macy's had a couple setbacks. She had a team change. She's now out with Team Alpha Male. She changed her camp. I believe she was in Colorado before that, and then went out to Sacramento's training with Team Alpha Male. And then Randa Maverick, basically, I'd have to read the article, but basically Miranda said that she didn't like this fight. She didn't like that this was the only fight that was offered to her. I don't know if it's because she felt like Macy is too difficult of a challenge. I don't know why any fighter would ever openly admit that, but
I think
feel
it has more to do with that Macy's ranked 14 and she's ranked 13. So like, why couldn't she get maybe a bump up in competition?
Same reason
because
why
she's been active and Macy hasn't because of she had the
tore-
injury
she
when
had-
she
yeah.
fought was it Modafferi, and then
Yeah.
I don't remember the Grasso fight, but
Alexa Grasso, Alexa put it on her.
so I mean maybe that's why she's thinking like, I'm coming off of a win. She's coming off of a loss. I'm 13. She's 14. Like, why is this my option? Like,
Yeah.
I think it probably has more to do with that than anything else.
In this, I think that I feel like Macy is gonna, with the change of camp, I feel like she's going to turn it around. She said that obviously every single fucking fighter at every single goddamn training camp, we hear the same thing. This is the best shape I've ever been in. This is the best, my frame of mind. This is the best I've ever been. All this other stuff. We hear the same shit every single time. So it's almost like, clockwork. But at the same time, I really do feel like a change in camp and being there at Team Alpha Male and she's very similar size to most of the guys that fight at Alpha Male. So I feel like that's a huge benefit for her being there. Yeah, Cynthia Calvillo's there. So yeah, I feel like Macy gets it done. Even though Miranda's been the more active, Miranda has more power. In terms of their ground game, they're pretty identical, I'd say. But I feel like Macy's, just because of change in training camp, I feel like she's going to get it done this fight, and she's going to start moving her way up the ladder again.
Okay, this is another one where I'm kind of going with what I like against my gut, kind of. I'm going to go with Macy Barber as well. I think that the change in camp, she's going to come in probably with a heavier grapple game this time around, more wrestling than or maybe even better wrestling. I don't know.
Alpha Male's known for.
Yeah, and mixing it up well too. Like they're known for like putting their shit together.
Combinations
really well,
together after, yeah.
So I think that I don't know how long she's been there. That's kind of where I'm worried because I don't know how long she's been at Alpha Male.
It's been enough for a full training camp.
Yeah, but
so I mean that could be 12 to that could be a 16 week, that could be a 12 week. More often than not, it's usually 9 or 8.
Yeah, but so I'm gonna say Macy Barber here, but I think Miranda Maverick's probably the safer pick in my opinion. But I'm not gonna go with that.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Miranda Maverick. I think I think that she's the more hard-nosed fighter. I think she presses towards the action into Macy Barber, and I don't think, and that's not necessarily where a wrestler wants to be put, right?
Yeah.
The good thing is that Miranda is a great wrestler too. So it's not like Macy Barber is going to be able to just ragdoll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she might be the better wrestler, but she's not going to shit on.
She's got jiu-jitsu too,
Yeah, and she's really good, dude. I'm not saying that I think she's a great striker. I think she's a confident striker, but I think she just keeps her off balance. And I don't think that Barber's really fought anybody that's going to come forward and press that pace. You know what I mean? Like that's what she's known for.
I think Miranda should have the better hands too.
Yeah, I think she does. I'm not saying they're spectacular, but I think they're good enough.
Yeah.
Especially for Barber, who's not known for having great hands anyways.
Yeah.
So
if I was a smart man, I would have went with Maverick. I think
as long as she stays and keeps,
you could still change your pick.
I'm not changing my pick.
I think that if she just keeps pressing that action, if she lets Barber hang in somewhere in the middle, not close but not too far, then Barber can bang, but I don't think it goes that way. And I think Maverick gets a win.
Okay. Next up, featherweight, Darren Elkins versus Derrick Minner. obviously we've seen some fantastic performances from Darren Elkins. He is, damage, as it says on his goddamn
Chest.
his chest. But Mirsad Bektik is probably one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure it was Mirsad Bektik,
I think it was.
where he was essentially getting his ass kicked the entire fight, and then he just went on a storm that last round. And Joe Rogan said it was one of the times that made him most emotional after watching a fight, because he let out a scream like, I fucking did it. Like, I came back after getting my ass kicked. And I say all that and preface all that, and I'm not going to pick Darren Elkins in this fight. Darren Elkins has fought some of the creme de la creme. Like, he's fought Michael Johnson, he's fought Alexander Volkanovski, he's fought Ryan Hall. He lost to Ryan Hall. He's fought Ricardo Lamas. He's fought, you name most. There's a lot of guys in the featherweight division that he's fought. But I feel like he's not. I don't feel like he's on an ascension. I feel like he's descending. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Derek Minner.
Okay. I'm still looking at these guys to make my decision because.
Can I go then?
Yeah, you can go.
All right. I'm gonna choose Elkins. Elkins is like that fucking 15-year vet that's just gonna fucking hang around forever, and he's gonna win fights that he shouldn't win. And this is one of those fights. First of all, dude, when he fought Ryan Hall, right? He didn't tap him out, right? He didn't.
No, but he still lost a decision to a guy who's not a good striker.
But I'm saying he didn't tap him out, right? And so if that's Minner's usual path to victory is submissions, I don't think that he's going to tap this guy out. So I'm thinking that he goes in there and somehow finds a way to win this, because Minner is looking to sub him. There's no fucking way he's going to sub him. He's been 14 years untouchable in the sub game, So I think that little nugget leads him to victory, I don't think that Minner's going to sub him, and I think that that's how he wins.
Minner can win by decision too.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that happens though.
I think I've got my pick. I think I'm going to go with Darren Elkins as well. There's been so many times I've doubted that man, and he just overcame. I never thought he would win against Michael Johnson. You know what I mean? Things like that. I don't know. He's fought high level competition. He's stuck around forever. The dude can take everything you throw at him, including the kitchen sink. The dude's a savage. And I know he's got the cardio to go 3 rounds and make this dude dog shit tired if he has to. You know what I mean?
But the thing is he looks dog shit tired too in the process.
Yes.
So
the only thing that scares me is the submission game. I think Darren Elkins is going to win this. I think he can keep away from the submissions, but where I see him being super susceptible is probably a nasty guillotine or something like that, because he does grapple often and go for takedowns. So we'll see. But I think I'm going to go with Darren Elkins on this one. This is, you're probably right, Jeffrey. This is probably a fight he shouldn't win, and he does. I think
that's exactly what I'm saying.
That's the thing. And obviously, I like Darren Elkins because he's just a fun fighter to watch. Obviously, I'm not picking with my heart here. I'm picking with my head, because I feel like I need to maintain my lead on you guys. That's what I feel like.
If you wanted to be smart about it, you'd be who's probably taken less damage in their career and less.
It's this guy. Yeah, it's not Darren. It's
Minner.
not fucking Darren. It's not Darren Elkins. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So.
All right.
I just been proved wrong by Darren Elkins a lot of times, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this one.
Yeah. The new co-main event, because the original co-main got scrapped, Aspen Ladd. Tyler Phillips versus Raulian Paiva. Both guys are relatively young. Both guys mid-20s. I will be 100% honest. I don't really know either of these guys.
Yeah, I've never seen either one of them fight before.
Paiva is normally a 125er, but he went up to 135 for this fight. So I don't know if he's having trouble with weight cut or like in past fights if he was having trouble, but whether he was having trouble with weight cuts or not, he hasn't lost a fight in the UFC. He's 2-0 thus far. And for a guy who's 25 years old and he almost has as many fights as he is his age, that's pretty impressive. And for that reason, I'm going to go with him.
Okay.
Jeffrey, you can go ahead. You know more about these guys than I do, and Trenton do. So
I have a man crush on Kyler Phillips, dude. This fucking dude is a savage. I think that he comes in and he
just like his
bigger.
hair.
Nah, he is bigger, he's faster, he's stronger, and he's more well-rounded than Paiva. Paiva has 20 fights.
23.
Yeah, 23. And he's a brawler. But dude, Phillips is a fucking slick ass kickboxer. He's got a very strong wrestling base, and he's a fucking brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Like, he's a fucking savage. He's well-rounded, and I think Kyler Phillips comes in here and fucking slaps this dude.
Yeah, well, his last fight, he fought Song Yudong, so I know who Song Yudong is.
Yeah.
But I think the only reason why he won that fight was because he was 3 for 5 on his takedowns, but he got outstruck by 20 plus strikes in that fight. So he's a great kickboxer, but he got outstruck against the guy who's not really. I mean, I don't.
Well,
really...
I'm not saying he's a great kickboxer. I'm saying he's a slick. He's very smooth.
Okay.
With
Gotcha.
it, you know what I'm saying? And I think he's way more well-rounded.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Kyler Phillips as well on this one. I think that
the brother's bias. Fuck.
No, I looked at his 20-3 record for the other guy. What's his name? Paiva. And his losses are from another dude. He got KO'd by a dude I never even heard of. So, I mean, that's not a good look. When I literally have never seen either one of these guys fight to my knowledge, and then I look at that and I'm like, all right, well, that's not good. So I got to go with Kyler Phillips. I'm just gonna go with my gut here on this one. I know the guys that he's fought. Like, I've seen them fight before, and he's done what he KO'd. KO here, decision there. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Phillips on this one. This one, it's an uneducated pick, really, but.
Well, I mean, my pick's not super educated either. I just feel like the guy that's 20-3 compared to the guy who's 9-1.
Yeah.
And the fact that a guy is going up a weight class, and normally if you go up a weight class, you usually perform better because you're not cutting as much.
Yeah.
But obviously we've been wrong. Like I said about RDA earlier, he's one of the guys that was like, I was surprised that you didn't perform as well at. And Anthony Pettis, he's another one. And Donald Cerrone, he's another one. Fuck.
Well, he kind of did for a minute and then didn't. Yeah. All right. The moment everyone's been waiting for, and the moment TJ Dillashaw has been waiting for the last 2 years. Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw. This is a super fucking hard pick.
Yes, it
is. Because like I've been thinking on it since we did our pod.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been so torn because I don't want TJ Dillashaw to win because of all this EPO stuff. But at the same time, I do want him to win because I feel like he didn't lose the title. He got stripped of the title because he cheated. For me, it's the fact that Corey Sandhagen is, he's a younger guy. He's been the more active. Obviously, he's fought. The only slip up that he's had recently was against Aljamain in the first round, and had that they've been in that position in the second or third round, Aljamain wouldn't have been able to lock up that rear naked choke because they hadn't even really broke a sweat at that point in that fight when he got caught. but he had a spectacular performance. His striking was amazing against Marlon, and then it was even better against Frankie. With that said, TJ has been out for 2 years, even though he's, he hasn't been active because of a suspension. I still feel like TJ is the better all-around fighter. He is the better wrestler. He is the better striker. Even though Corey's the more dangerous striker, TJ is the better striker. And I feel like TJ's on a warpath to get his belt back. I feel like TJ is not the type of guy. Like, he got dropped against Cody, and he fucking went. He initiated the first contact in the second round in that first fight after he got dropped, and he went and pressed the action in that second round and put Cody away. He's not afraid to take a risk, and I feel like he's gonna get his belt back. I'm gonna go with TJ in this one. I feel like he's just the all-around better fighter, even though he hasn't been active because of his suspension. I feel like I'm picking with my head here. He's gonna win. So I got to go with TJ in this one. I like Sandhagen though. I really do. I think he is fucking phenomenal. I just feel like TJ right now is literally like a crazed, like he's like a psychopath, and like I need to get my belt back. So I got to go with TJ.
I think TJ is going to come back and look really good. I think his ego and his motivation have never been fucking higher, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get that belt back and to put all that fucking EPO shit behind him. I think that he's going to come back, have a great performance. But I also feel like it's been a 2-year suspension.
Mm-hmm.
He's been inactive. I know he's training his ass off. I mean, look at the motherfucker. He's still shredded.
I know.
But Sandhagen's been active. He's the bigger guy. And I think that Sandhagen, I think he's going to shock people on this one. I think he's going to win.
The thing is I don't think people are going to be shocked. If he wins, I don't feel like people are going to be shocked. I feel like people are just going to be happy that TJ lost because he's a fucking
but everybody's
cheater.
going to come out of the woodworks and be like, I told you he was nothing without the fucking drugs. Or you know what I mean? Like,
I know, but
whatever.
This is like
I don't think that's what it's going to be like. I just think that he's the bigger guy. He's taller. TJ's pretty fucking short. I know he's fast as shit. He hits hard. He's good everywhere, but I just think Sandhagen is unorthodox and weird, and it's another one of those things.
Yeah, so is Dominic Cruz, but
but they also know each other.
But I feel like they train together.
Yeah, he used Sandhagen to mimic
or the Dominic. Cruz. Yeah. So. And I feel like this is just me, another controversial thing. I feel like TJ won that fight against Dominic.
Yeah.
I feel like TJ did.
I also feel like TJ probably knows, from those training sessions, who should win this fight.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he's accepted this fight and is confident in this fight. But I just wonder what that 2-year layoff is going to do to him. And I know that Sandhagen has improved. You know what I mean? I haven't seen something from TJ. And the last time we saw him, he was getting KO'd. So.
Yeah, but after like the worst fucking weight cut of his life, and he was doing other shit that he knew
the damage is done,
I really don't feel like it is.
It's possible. We'll see. I just think, and Sandhagen hits you from weird shit. That fucking knee he hit Frankie with.
Yeah, but Frankie's chin is so fucking deteriorated that it.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, sorry, you haven't even gotten to make your pick yet. Sorry.
Let him go. You're good. No, I'm not trying to argue about who's right and who's wrong here. We're gonna find out tomorrow. I just don't I didn't know. I just choose the Sandhagen, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose Corey Sandhagen, and here's why.
Fucking brothers bias. This fucking here we fucking go, boys.
Well, you might.
Because fuck TJ Dillashaw, dude. This fucking dude couldn't even fucking take roids correctly, bro. You gotta do EPO, you fucking pussy. Get the fuck out of here.
Couldn't even do roids correctly. He did the one thing. He did the one thing. What do you mean? How do you do them incorrectly?
What I'm saying is, dude, you're using something else, dude. You're not even fucking in the dude crew, bro. You're just a bitch. Fuck that guy. Get him out of here. Look, TJ Dillashaw is a good fighter, dude, and he might win this fight, but he's always EPO fucking Dillashaw to me. You know, like, dude, he's like everybody says, like, oh, yeah, everybody says just like, oh, dude, Dillashaw might not be shit without EPO. Dude, he fucking might not. And he's like, oh, well, that didn't have anything to do with it. Well, I'm sure it fucking had a bit to do with it, buddy. You know, like, of course it did. Anyways, Sandhagen is very unorthodox, and he's, you know, you guys already went into that. And historically, that's where TJ struggles, is people that can match his pace. And Sandhagen can match that pace, and he can put some pressure on you, and he can throw punches from weird angles and shit like that. And that's where TJ struggles. So I think Sandhagen comes out, and I think he beats Dillashaw.
The reason why I think TJ is going to win is because TJ is more unorthodox. His movement is so different that it's not. Look at Marlon Moraes. He stands in front of you. Look at Frankie Edgar. He stands in front of you. So, yeah, you throw a spinning heel kick and you graze him over the top of the head, and then, you know, he rolls backwards and you finish him. Or you throw up a perfectly fucking timed flying knee. I'm absolutely not taking away from his striking. That's why I said I feel like he is the more dangerous striker, but he's not the better striker. And I feel
towards the end, didn't Dillashaw kind of adopt like Dominic Cruz's movement a little?
It wasn't like the exact same, because Dominic's but it's a very mimic. It's similar. It's not, he didn't copy it, but there's a lot of similarities because
he didn't copy it, but he copied it, you know.
He's just a fucking cheater of everything. Can't steal my goddamn style. You can't steal my can't use EPOs. What's next?
That's right, dude. I'm like that old man, like,
can't cheat on your wife. You can't do it. Like,
no, I don't think
can't drink and drive.
I just think that Dillashaw, like, his whole gig was his whole thing was his cardio. Like, I got this cardio, this movement, this cardio, fast pace. And then he gets busted for EPO. And it's like, yeah, no shit. The whole time, meanwhile, shitting on everybody, fucking accusing everybody of fucking taking roids and shit. He's the Lance Armstrong of the fucking UFC, dude. I hope you lose your nut. Fuck that.
Dude, who did he accuse of taking steroids?
He accused a bunch of people, dude. Like, back before he like
when he was the snake,
exactly, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
What happened was Garbrandt was accusing him of, like, he's been on shit since he's been in Alpha Male and all this shit. Garbrandt had been saying that shit for like ever
Garbrandt
since.
said he was a shitty teammate the entire time. He never, but I didn't hear about Garbrandt saying
Garbrandt was saying he was on all kinds of shit.
Garbrandt said he wanted all of the samples from their championship fights tested because he wanted to see.
There's video over there of Dillashaw being like, everybody's doing it, man, and fuck these guys. I don't want to be associated with it and shit. And meanwhile, he's fucking, you know, he might not have been like,
he did it once. Okay, I'm not.
I don't care if he did it once or not. Like, you can't shit talk and everybody and like literally come off like you're Jesus Christ walking on water in the sport of you're the clean guy in the river of filth. Like,
that's why I lost. No offense, I lost all my respect for John Fitch when he popped.
I didn't really like John Fitch to begin with, but
I love John Fitch. That fight with GSP was magic.
Yeah, well,
I just have a thing with TJ Dillashaw because he had this whole thing of where it was like the whole thing seemed fake and shit like that. You know, when he came back and apologized, and bro, you would have still been doing it had you not been apologized, or, you know, or had you not got caught. Like, I don't.
Well, the thing is it's not like it's literally something that you inject, so it's not like you can accidentally take it. Like, it's not going to be in a supplement.
Yeah.
Like, right. You know, you're not ingesting it orally. You're ingesting it through a needle. So that's the reason. Like, I want to make one thing very clear. I am not defending TJ Dillashaw by any means. I picked him because I'm picking with my head. I'm not picking because I'm not picking against TJ because he's a cheater. I'm picking because I want to stay ahead of you guys in terms of our fight picks, and I feel like he's gonna win.
How fucking mad?
It's like I'm gonna pick John Jones every fucking time, and when he fights, because he's just the greatest of all time. It's like, even if I don't want Khabib to win against Dustin Poirier, I'm gonna pick Khabib to win.
Yeah.
Because it's the smart pick.
You make smart picks. I sometimes pick with my heart. This fight is not a pick with my heart. This one's more of like,
you just feel Corey's the better because he's been more active.
I feel like Dillashaw's the overall better fighter probably, and he's had the higher competition, and the people that he's fought is way more impressive than the people that fucking Corey Sandhagen fought. I think this 2-year layoff and his confidence and all this shit is all, like, everything's going to play into a factor here. He might come in overconfident. He might come in. I just think the size advantage for Corey Sandhagen and the fact that he's been active and he's had good performances, he's going to ride his little train forward.
You know, another
he might
thing
upset Dillashaw,
You know, another thing that I think here, well, isn't Sandhagen a favorite? Isn't he the favorite in the fight?
I don't know, honestly.
So this is another thing that I didn't really think about. Sandhagen has fought multiple times in the Apex with no fans. Dillashaw hasn't. Yeah. Dillashaw hasn't fought. Dillashaw fights in front of he's only fought in front of crowds. So that makes me wonder because he feeds off of the energy, good, bad, or indifferent. He feeds off of it nonetheless.
He's gonna get booed out.
But when Can't Stop hits and Red Hot Chili Pepper starts playing, can't stop, addicted to the shindig. I'm gonna be bobbing my head like a motherfucker. I just feel like TJ's the better fighter, and I feel like he's gonna win. Whether he's been on a 2-year layoff, it's not like he can't train for 2 years.
We're gonna see if he lost a step or not.
Yeah. We'll see. And
I know he's a great fighter, dude. I'm just talking shit, but like,
I know,
but I don't.
But the points that you make are not the points that you make aren't wrong. It's but at the same time, like, obviously the way that I feel about John Jones is not just because he had a fucking picogram in his system. It wasn't the way that I felt about Anderson Silva after he tested hot is not just because he took a dick pill. It's not, think of every single Lance Armstrong. Like, I didn't even give a shit about cycling anyways, but it's like, you're a goddamn cheater.
Well, the thing about Lance Armstrong was he accused people and sued them in court for fucking dragging his name.
Yeah.
The whole time he was fucking cheating.
I know.
Well, I don't know what's true and what's not, but I think it was on the Joe Rogan podcast or something like that. They said they tested like people like in that race or whatever, and they had to go down to like the 23rd place guy to figure out who wasn't on drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they gave that guy the medal.
That was fucking USADA and WADA. That was the World Anti-Doping Agency and United States Anti-Doping Agency.
See, I just don't have a problem when it's in other sports. As long as it's not a contact sport, I don't give a fuck what you're on. Like, you know what I mean? But like, you being on EPO, it's a bad look when you're beating the shit out of a guy. And may not be the case, but it might be the case. The only reason you beat him so fucking badly is because you had the cardio to do it. Like,
but that's exactly
not good.
See, and that's the reason
somebody else's career.
So Chael on his podcast, he came out and he said, or on his YouTube channel, he came out and said, he's like, I know about performance enhancing drugs. I am the king of performance enhancing drugs, and he's the one guy that I still love. Chael Sonnen, nonetheless, even after all the times
he can joke about it and fucking whatever.
And that's the reason why I like him. Yeah, the bad guy.
Yeah, he's undefeated, baby.
Yeah, undefeated, never lost a round. But he even said, he was like, EPO you're gonna win the fight, but you're not gonna win the fight by brute strength or force. You're gonna win because you can push harder than everyone else in the championship rounds.
And that was his entire gig, dude. And that's why it pisses me off so much. Because if he had been knocking motherfuckers out or submitting motherfuckers, Like, dude, that was his thing. He just put it on you for 5 rounds with
Yeah, but the thing is, they went back and tested all of his samples, and the only one that tested hot was the one against Henry Cejudo. That's it.
I don't care though.
But you saw,
I don't care though.
yeah, but you can't. The science is there to show that he didn't do it,
Or that he didn't. Maybe I don't know the science behind it because I'm not a smart
USADA is pretty fucking in depth.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
I may not be a smart man,
but I know
what EPO is.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
Put it on a t-shirt, boys.
if you get caught, now you're everything's suspect.
Yeah, it's
now.
just
there's no going back.
It's a tainted career after all that. Even Anderson Silva, even fucking John Jones, even all these guys that once they pop for anything in my head, it raises suspicion because there's always some kind of proof. They're like, oh, Anderson Silva, it was like dick pills, bro. It's like, but was it? Like, was it though?
John Jones said the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, even
John Jones, he's like
even
a tainted
if they
career
took that, even if they took that, what Dillashaw doing was worse.
Yeah.
You
know whose career wasn't fucking tainted and who is still considered one of the best? Fucking GSP, man. What a legend.
Yeah, and that's because he wasn't using steroids.
I don't agree with
He
him.
is literally the equivalent.
If you looked at him, you wouldn't know.
No, he's the MMA. He is the MMA equivalent of Ken Griffey Jr., the guy that stayed true, had the sweetest swing, was all natural,
and left the sport at the
perfect time
to keep that undefeated streak going because some murderers came in.
Guys, look at that little puppy. Look at that little thing right
It's a
there.
good looking dog, Dan.
Yeah. So I hope to God. So I'm sitting at 16-16. My picks, the last 2 fight cards have been not good. And not good at all.
Put it this way: after this fight card, Jeffrey and I are either going to be far above you, or we're going to be far below.
I hope the latter. I
think we only picked 2 fights different.
I know. No, 2 fights the same, not 2 fights different. We picked a majority of the fights. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Excuse me, Jeffrey and Trenton. You guys are both 15-17, and I'm only one ahead of you guys, essentially, or 2. But
it's crazy how that works out when we're all picking just random shit,
I know.
Especially after how far off I was at the beginning. Jesus, that one fight card really fucked me.
The first one, the very first one. Yeah, the last one really fucked me big time. Fucked me big time. I think I got like 3 fight picks right. I was like, Jesus Christ. I got Tai Tuivasa and I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm glad we didn't do last week's because I would have done terrible on those. The only fight that I watched was the Islam fight. I didn't even watch Misha. So
I would have chose Misha.
I would have chose Misha too.
And Makhachev. I would have got those
I would have gotten those 2 right for sure as well. But yeah, so the main card starts at noon my time. So 1 o'clock your guys, or the prelim, sorry.
I probably won't even be able to watch tomorrow if I'm being honest with you guys. I'll probably try to watch on my phone as much as I can, but I think I got a baby shower to be at tomorrow.
Oh shit! Also, Rachel Ostovich beat Paige Van Zandt tonight.
Oh yeah,
bare knuckle. Yeah,
I knew it was going on. I just didn't.
I don't want to watch that shit. I don't want to watch that.
I think it's entertaining, but it's only entertaining when there's a fucking hype around a fight, and I'm not really trying to watch Paige Van Zandt like no offense to UFC fucking rejects, fighting the main event for this event. Like, get the fuck out of here.
For the OnlyFans belt.
The OnlyFans belt. And if there's any nudes, I'll tell you whose is better. No. I'll tell you who's the champ. Neither one of them, I think, have like full nudity yet or anything. I don't think.
I don't know. Paige Van Zandt has her own thing, anyways. She has her own
Van Zandt.
Yeah. And then Rachel does. I think she does OnlyFans.
I don't know.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know much about the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I've never even been to the page, to be honest.
Neither have I.
Like on the website or anything.
Neither have I.
I just know you pay for it, and when you have to pay for like that kind of thing, I'm checked
Your
out.
Your wife knows.
No, I'm just checked out. Like I ain't paying for that. You know how much free shit's on the internet?
Yeah. All right, boys. I don't have anything else in terms of stuff to talk about. Next week, is it next week?
I think
who's fighting next week?
It's the
Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland.
Another card I'm not super
I don't about. Yeah, the only other fighters that I really know on this card are Sam Alvey, Brian Barberena,
I know Ronnie Yaya,
Nico Montano, and Ashley Yoder.
I've seen Brian Barberena fight numerous times. That dude's a savage too.
Yeah, well, he beat Mickey Gall, didn't he?
I don't know. That's not really the one that I remember. I just remember him being in a fight with some dude. They just fucking traded blows for like an hour.
He beat Jake Ellenberger too.
Let me see his record. Who he fought last? I'll tell you which fight it was. Brian Barberena, not his last fight, but the one that I watched that was fireworks.
Vicente Luque.
I don't think it was that one.
Oh no, he beat Sage Northcutt. That's who he beat, not Mickey Gall, but Sage Northcutt.
God damn, that was a long time ago. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else because I don't recognize this lineup here.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, I think that's gonna conclude the episode. Episode 11's in the books.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'll get to watch the main card. I get off at 3:00 when the main card starts, so I'm just gonna rush straight home and turn the fights on. Yeah, for everybody, again, if you're listening to us through multiple podcast platforms, please download the episodes, listen, continue to show support. If you're watching on YouTube, comment on the videos. We love to engage with you guys. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share, and then hit that notification bell so you can see when we go live. That's it for us, boys.
Cool. Later, guys.
All right. Later. Talk to you boys tomorrow.